Hi all, in this session we are going to make this simple project. In our previous few sessions we have understood get element by ID as well as get elements by class name. Now those two concepts we are going to apply in this project so that we can remember those concepts. Now here I have simple 5 buttons, basic HTML buttons. When I click on this first button, change font color, as soon as I click, the font color should be changed. Now this change background color, again when I click, the background color will be changed for this and for this button. Both the buttons background color will be changed. And this one change text to bold. As soon as I click on this, the text will be changed to bold. Now here we have one more button, reset button. As soon as I click on this button, whatever stylings I have for these 4 buttons, everything will be cleared. I will click on this reset button. You can see all the stylings, whatever I have given, that is being cleared. Now we are going to start with this simple project and we are going to use the concept of get element by ID and get elements by class name. I have cleared the entire project. Now my browser is empty. We will be writing basic HTML code. Inside this title, I will be writing project, or you can just write DOM project. Inside this body, first let me just write one H1. I will just write simple project. Simple project related to DOM. Save this. Now this is my result. Below this H1, I need 5 buttons. Let me just increase the size. And here I am just going to write button into 5. I will just format these buttons. Inside first button, I just want to change the font color. So I will be writing the text, change font color. Next, I want to change the background, change background color. I will copy the same thing. And here, fourth button also, I'm going to do the same thing. And for third button, I will just write here, change font to bold. And finally, we have this reset. I will save all these 5 buttons. And here, 5 buttons are displayed. Now inside this, let me just give some stylings so that I can see buttons one by one. I will just write a style tag. And inside this, I will be selecting my button element. First, let me just give margin so that I will be getting space. Margin of 10 pixel. Now for each button, I am having space. By default, the display of buttons will be span. I am just going to give block. So I will be getting this kind of buttons. Now we are done with our basic HTML. Now to apply all this functionality, we have to use our JavaScript. Below this last button, I will be writing one comment, JavaScript. So for first button, we will be using the ID attribute. ID is equal to font. Whatever name you want, you can give. And rest 4 buttons, I will be using class. Class. And same class I'm just going to give for BG color. I will give BG color. And for this one, class is equal to bold. And for fourth button, I will just give the class. Let me just give one color here. I will give here orange. And finally, for reset button, I will give class as reset. Okay, what I have done, I have just added the classes and also I have added one ID attribute. Now using this ID attribute, I am going to access my first button. Now below this, I will be writing script tag. To access that first button, I will be writing here font button is equal to document, we should always write this document object. Without this document object, we will not be able to access the methods which are provided by DOM API. Get element by ID, and my ID name is font. Let me just check once. This ID I'm just going to pass inside this. Now to change the color, to change the font color, I simply have to write variable name dot style dot color is equal to red. I will save this. Now you can see directly the font color is been changed. But I do not want this one. Whenever I click on the button, only then the font color should be changed. So what I will do, I will be creating one function. Function name, let me just write here font. Now inside this curly braces, I will copy this whole thing and here I am just going to paste. Now when I click on this, you can see the font color is not changed, and also when I click on this, it is not going to work because inside buttons we have to add some event. Based on that event, I have to change the stylings. So our event is nothing but I am clicking it here. So we have the event on click. I will just write here on click event. And whenever I click on this, I just have to call this function. Whatever function I have created here, the same function name I just have to pass with parenthesis. Now I will save. Now when I click on this button, you can see the font color is changed. Now using this get element by ID, okay, it is working fine. Now we have this get elements by class name. In our previous session, I already told you get elements by class name will be returning HTML collection. So to access that, we should be using index number. Let me just show you practically. I will just copy this. I will be pasting it here. Next is let me just copy the class bg color. I will give the same name for function. And here I will remove bg color btn. Here also bg color btn. Let me just change it to get elements by class name, and my class name is bg color. I will save this, and also I'm just going to call this function here. Inside this button, I will be adding on click. On click is equal to bg color. I will save this. Now when I click on this, you can see it will not be working. But for get element by ID, we have directly accessed that and we are getting the result. But for this bg color, it will be returning HTML collection. Now if I just inspect this in console, I will be getting this error. Cannot set properties of undefined setting color at bg. Okay, this is not possible because it will be returning HTML collection. Now if you notice here, I am having only one class with the name bg color. So index number will be starting from 0. While accessing this, I just have to write a square bracket 0. That's it. Save. Now when I click on this, you can see the color is being changed. Instead of color, I just have to change the background color. I will just write here background color. And C should be capital. Save this, and background color, let me write here blue. Save. Now when I click on this, you can see the background color will be changed. So this is very important to understand. Without this, you will not be able to get the result. As I am having only one class with the name bg color, so I am writing this. If I am having two classes, then I should be wrapping inside for loop, and then I will be getting the result. For better understanding, let me just show you that example as well. I will copy this, and below this I'm just going to paste the same thing, bg1 and bg2. For both, I have given the same classes and I have just written color 1 and color 2. Now for first one, when I click, it will be working because I have passed 0 here. But for second one, it is not going to work. But if I write here 1 and save, for this it will not work, but for this it will be working. So this is very simple to understand. Now to get it work, we just have to wrap inside for loop. I will remove this, and here I'm just going to write for let I is equal to 1, I is less than bg color dot length. Length will be 2 because I have 2 buttons, but index number will be starting from 0. So 0 and 1 it will be counting. Then I'm just going to increase the value of I. Now inside this, I'm just going to copy this code, and here I will be pasting, and here I'm just going to pass the value of I. Now when I click on this button, okay, it is not working. Only the first button is working because I have to pass here 0. I will save. Now both the buttons will be working. So you can see this is very simple. If we are having same name for the classes, then we can easily wrap in the loops and we can get the result. But if we are having only one class, then we have to use index number to access that particular element. Now in the same way, let me just copy this function. Below this I will paste. From here I will be removing this for loop. I do not want this one. Next is our bold. I will just write here bold. I will copy this, and here I am going to paste bold btn, and my stylings will be font weight. Font weight is equal to bold. I will save this. It will not work because I have not passed the on click event. Now inside this change font to bold, I will just add here on click is equal to bold. Save. Now when I click on this, okay, it is not working. Let me just check. Here I have to remove this one. Now when I click on this, again it will not be working because we have not passed the index number 0. Now when I click, it will work. So in the same way, for this background, I will be giving you the homework. You just have to do the same thing. You just have to copy the class name, index number, and change the background. Now I will be showing you for the reset button. So for reset button, we have given the class as reset. Now what I will do, for every button, I will add the class as reset. Here I have ID attribute, class is equal to reset. I'll just copy this one, and for rest we have already given the classes. I'll give some space. I will add this reset class here and here. Now what I will do, I am having reset class for all the buttons. Now using for loop, I can access all the buttons. Let me just copy the same thing. I will just come down. I will be pasting it here. I will give the function name as reset. Here I will give reset btn, and from this I'm just going to remove, and I will give the class as reset. Now stylings, I do not want anything, so style will be equal to none. So when I click on this button, all the styling should be removed. Now when I click on this, it will not work because we have to wrap inside for loop. For I is equal to 0, I is less than our reset button dot length. Then we have to increment the value of I. Inside this, I'm just going to paste this one. I will copy, paste, and for every button I have to change. So I will give I inside this. First, the value of I will be 0. First button will be cleared. That is 0th index button will be cleared. Then first button, second button, third button, fourth, all the button stylings will be cleared. Now here I have added. Now when I click on this reset button, it will not work because we have not added on click event. On click is equal to reset. Save this. I will give some stylings. Reset. The stylings will be reset. Again change. This I have not given any stylings. Click on the reset button. All the stylings, whatever I have given, that will be cleared. You can see again. Reset. Everything will be removed. Okay, this is a simple project only to understand concept whichever we have learned till now. Next, we are going to continue with few more selectors.